workforce, it is in the streets, it's when you go to the store. I mean, like, you can't do anything in peace without this wokeness being shoved down your throat wherever you go. So, do you have a question? Is there something funny?
I do.
Yeah, sure.
How do you define wokeness?
Wokeness is the destruction of normalcy and how do you define it?
Hello, and welcome to Tabu Talk, or welcome back. Today, we'll be discussing what woke is. I know you hear it a lot in right-wing circles. They talk about it incessantly. Or anti-woke this, anti-woke that. But nobody can seem to explain to you what exactly woke is. Well, let's see if we can figure this out today. I'm your host, Space Streamer II. You can call me SD2. And with all of that being said, let's get started.
Or ask the Walt Disney Company about the way out of its fight with the state of Florida after the largest entertainment company in the world took a stance on legislation restricting talk about same-sex relationships in schools, rising the ire of Governor DeSantis.
You know, this idea of one corporation having its own government in Central Florida is something that is no longer in the best interest of the state of Florida.
It's all being grouped under the heading of woke. That's a term dating back to the 1940s when black Americans referred to being woken up to injustice. But that history has largely been lost on current day leaders, such as, for example, our former president.
And I don't like the term woke because I hear woke. You know, it's like just a term that half the people can't even define it. They don't know what it is.
Today, woke has come to mean something that it was not originally set out to be.
The word is woke, but what do conservatives think it means?
Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression.
Hard to define. Redo society. Something about oppression.
Well, oppression sounds about right. Unequal treatment under the law. Yep, that sounds about right.
We're living in a time where we're more divided than ever, and we need a common vocabulary to talk about those differences. But that can be hard when we're not on the same page. We start today with Mike Milton. He's a retired Navy man who identifies as white and a lefty.
Center left.
Politically speaking, that is. He says he pays attention to the news and current affairs. But lately there's one word he's been hearing a lot of that's got him scratching his head. Woke.
I think it shows how wokeism destroys everything fun in our society.
It's a word he mostly hears used by conservative media, and he's not sure what it means.
One question I do have is, what is wokeness?
I can say destroying everything fun in society is not what woke is. So, I don't know where they got that from.
The truth is, the word woke has lived many lives and iterations.
Right around the early 1960s, 70s, when you had a lot of Black Power movements and kind of civil rights issues going on at that time, it wasn't called woke, it was called consciousness.
That's Dr. Demarie Smith. He's a professor of rhetoric and media studies at San Diego State University. He says the word stems from the civil rights era.
At that time, Black people particularly started thinking about what are the ways in which our government is not necessarily protecting us as citizens.
For him, the real meaning of being woke is about connecting the dots.
To me, means basically having a consciousness about some of the systemic issues that are taking place that have unintended consequences that kind of seem as though it may be a good thing, but again, there's things that we're not necessarily thinking about.
In other words, It really just means to think critically about issues that impact us all, like education, healthcare, and policing.
How is thinking critically a bad thing? When did it become bad to really just think for yourself and try and do things that help others in society?
The word woke, though, became more mainstream in 2015, with more and more people using it that didn't know the word's origin, says Smith.
The everyday white folks, as I would say, and they started kind of using that terminology about, oh, I'm woke, I'm white, but I'm woke. You know what I mean?
Which is when the word began to change and become less a way of thinking and more like a badge to signal to other people that you weren't racist.
Levi's heard that if you're not woke, it's bad.
Even Saturday Night Live got in on the joke, with its parody on a Levi's ad for woke jeans. Fast forward to today, where woke is being used by conservative media outlets to describe just about everything.
The mission statement of wokeism, of Marxism, of the BLM movement is to destroy the nuclear family.
The point is not to destroy the nuclear family. The point is to get people to see and be aware of the things going on around them that are inherently built into the laws that we have to abide by.
Smith says he's not surprised to see woke take on yet another meaning.
Like all words, they can be weaponized.
In this current context, woke has become a catch-all for anything deemed progressive or inclusive.
In other words, anything the right doesn't like.
And the problem when you hear woke is, I would say, at least for Fox News, they kind of see it as more like folks who have this like kind of socialist agenda where that, at least that's their perspective. And so anything that they don't deem as correct, it's considered woke.
And that's how Mike Milton first heard of the word woke, light years away from its original meaning. So I called him back up and shared this story with him.
Educated me that it goes back not just to the, whatever that was, 90s or early 2000s, but back to the 60s and early 70s, perhaps.
Dr. Demarie Smith anticipates we'll be hearing the word woke a lot this election season. It's why he wants us to question who's using the word woke and why, so we can push past buzzwords and have conversations about real issues.
So far, the only person to define what woke actually is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Late last year, his staffers were asked to define woke in court. His communications director defined woke as a slang term for activism, progressive activism. His general counsel added that woke is the belief that there are systemic injustices in American society and the need to address them. Which sounds right, maybe even sort of sensible. Maybe that's why the anti-woke movement has such a hard time with it. Sometimes it's what you don't say that speaks volumes.
Okay, so let's let Mondale Robinson, the mayor of Enfield, North Carolina, take us out on what woke really is.
We are willing to let idiots like libs on TikTok try their BS and define wokeness in a way that is anti-American when we know wokeness has a history that dates back to 1923 about Black equity, about Black people standing up and recognizing and owning and explaining and articulating the traumas that are happening to them. So while they will tell you it's not easy to define, wokeness is absolutely easy to define. It is about being aware about social injustice and doing something and acting on it. Anything else is a whitewashing of the definition of woke. It is changing it and demonizing it so that you being the people that support whiteness, can benefit from it. You can't trick me on my history. I know 1923 what Marcus Garvey meant when he said it. I knew what the Negro Union Minds United workers meant in the 30s when they said it. I knew what Ledbetter meant when he was talking about the Scottsboro Boys when he said it. I knew what Erykah Badu meant when she said it. And I know what I damn well mean when I say it in 2024. Being anti-woke is nothing but saying you are anti-Black. You are anti-equity. You are anti-injustice. That means you support all of the fights to keep injustice in place. You support all of the fights to keep inequities in place. That's what it means to be anti-woke. Don't be ridiculous. Don't buy into the BS. America has never been great as she is, and she's still not great enough. Anybody trying to take this country back is trying to exclude some form of American. And it's a damn shame that so many of y'all are willing to agree with it. I'm Mundell Robinson. Don't support Marjorie Taylor Greene. Don't support libs on TikTok. And damn sure don't support Donald Trump.
Well, that's it for today, folks. I hope you have a better understanding of what woke actually is, as opposed to what the right wing wants you to believe that it is. So, the next time you hear somebody say woke ideology, woke this, that, and the other, you'll think back and go, that was co opted to just mean something you don't like. So, the true ideology of wokeness is to be aware. Pay attention to the things going on around you, and that will help you out in the long run because they think you're stupid, and all you got to do is sit back, do nothing, and prove them right. Let's prove them wrong. I think Mayor Robinson said it best, and at this point, we're going to call it a day. So, as usual, all the links to the original videos will be down in the description. And leave a comment, leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you didn't like it. Either way, I will see you in the next one. Deuces!